Well, you know what they say. When you're on tilt, keep playing. Surely you'll win one eventually. Welcome back to VGC Legends. This is the series where I spin a wheel, get a random legendary or mythical Pokemon, speed build a team around that Pokemon, and try the team out on the VGC Regulation J ladder on Pokemon Showdown. As always, I do this for two reasons. One is that I just really like legendary and mythical Pokemon. And the other is that by trying out a whole bunch of different teams that I threw together, some good, some bad, some in between, and some just plain weird, I have a fun little adventure. Maybe not that little this far into the series. It's been going for quite a while, and maybe I learned some things along the way. Last episode, we said goodbye to Generation 5. Somehow I didn't think to remark on that, but it is another generation off of the wheel. There are only 4 generations still on the wheel, and only 5 Pokemon total. Mesprit, Hoopa, Volcanion, Urshifu, and Pecharunt are the last 5 legendary or mythical Pokemon to get to in this series. Let's spin the wheel and see which one we get now. And the wheel stops on Mesprit. I'll be honest, this one, I've had my eye on Mesprit on this wheel for a while. It's kind of stood out to me as the remaining Pokemon where I really don't know what I'm going to come up with it. It's actually good. I don't know what I'm doing with Mesprit. I've been dreading this one a little bit for a long time now, but surely we can still have some fun with it, right? Let's go. Oh, and that's also goodbye to Generation 4. It is the 6th generation to exit the wheel. I didn't quite forget to remark on it this time. Okay, so like I said, Mesprit has stood out to me for a long time as one of the Pokemon on this wheel that seem most difficult to work with, and as the wheel has dwindled down to only a few Pokemon, that has meant I've had some time to think. Mesprit, of course, has the well-rounded stats in his trio, base 105 in all of attack, defense, special attack, and special defense. Not so good on speed. Maybe there's some kind of support set that could be done, but I don't know. Well, it's not the worst support move pool. It's got Ally Switch, Encore, Knock Off. No, not necessarily a lot, but there are some tools there. But I get screens. Does it get screens? Yeah. So support Mesprit is not necessarily the worst idea. It also gets Trick Room. But of course, one big issue for this whole trio is they would love to throw off strong psychic type attacks, especially as Elf and to a lesser extent Mesprit, but they don't get to play a Psy Spam game with Expanding Force in Psychic terrain because they all have Levitate, and that means they don't touch the terrain and they don't get to reap the benefit of said terrain. Unless I do this. And now Mesprit can use Expanding Force in Psychic terrain and get that spread boosted damage. I might want to run Encore, though. That could be actually reasonably strong if Mesprit is underspeeding a lot of threats in Trick Room. For coverage, I think it gets Dazzling Gleam, right? I don't think it gets Moonblast. I can do Dazzling Gleam. Terra Psychic is probably fine. Terra Fairy might also be okay. There is something to be said for Mystical Power, because the special attack boost can be helpful to... In fact, you know what? I'm not going to run Encore. I am going to run Mystical Power. That's how we set Mesprit apart here. Trick Room or Protect, I'll decide in a moment. That's how we set Mesprit apart here. It can boost its special attack with a single target move. And then that makes the Expanding Force that much stronger into dual targets later. And this is going to be a hard Trick Room, I think. So Ice Rider, Calyrex, Indeedee. I have a bit of flexibility on the other restricted. Because I have Mesprit using Expanding Force already. I don't necessarily need, like, Lunala. Probably want Ursaluna on this team. What would be a good other restricted? It could be Lunala. There's certainly no reason it can't. Or I could run Magearna. Oh, I could run Magearna. And then Mesprit, being not a restricted Pokemon, is how I get Psy Spam and Magearna and Ice Rider Calyrex all on the same team. I think that's probably the answer here. So let's do it. Okay. And then probably I just pencil a Torkoal into the last slot, right? I could do like Smeargle. Miracle or Torkoal, either one fits. I like Torkoal. This team just does Trick Room and then offense, so Torkoal fits that nicely. I think I am going to run Protect on Mesprit. I can run Trick Room on all of these three. I don't think I need it on 4 different Pokemon. I'll keep the Terra Psychic as well. Clear Amulet, and you know the drill. Glacial Lance, high horsepower. I don't think there's any need for any Leech Seed shenanigans on this team. Terra type on Calyrex. What have I liked recently? I feel like I've liked Fire recently. Water's okay, except there's so much Miraidon in this format. Water's kind of nice into Zamazenta. I guess Fire is as well. And Fire doesn't open up a vulnerability to Miraidon. Grass would create immunity to Spore, but I already have Torkoal, Underspeeding and Threatening Amoonguss, and I have Ursaluna immune to Spore once its Flame Orb is activated. I think Terra Fire is okay. I can change my mind later if I want. Magearna. Dazzling Gleam. Flash Cannon. Then probably Trick Room and Protect. Terra Water. And maybe like a Life Orb. Yeah, there's nowhere else for a Life Orb to go on this team. And the damage is good. Indeedee. Follow Me. Helping Hand. I have Fairy coverage elsewhere on the team. I'll just go with Psychic. And Trick Room. Let's not almost forget to use Psychic Surge this time. I think I really like Rocky Helmet in DD these days when the Rocky Helmet isn't occupied elsewhere. Psychic Seed's pretty good too, but on a team like this, maybe I want DD to go down so I can get another Trick Room attacker in easily. And the Helmet can do some chip along the way, on the way out, maybe break a Sash or something. Terra Grass is reasonable for Rapid Strike or Shifu, help me take Surging Strikes, and also for Spore immunity. Terra Fairy, of course, which is kind of solid defensively, but I think Grass is alright here. Ursaluna, the usual moves, which are, of course, these ones. The usual Terra type. Torkoal, probably just Charcoal. I've not been running Earth Power on Torkoal lately. I don't feel like it really needs it. And with so much Wide Guard in this format, obviously Eruption and Heat Wave are both good spread damage, but you want a single target fire attack as well. You can run Earth Power, it's fine. I just have been choosing not to, and if I did, I probably would drop Heat Wave for it. I'll do some EV spreads. Everybody will probably be like, full offense, except Indeedee, and everybody min speed, except I'll do the same thing I always do where Ursaluna is like 1 point faster than min speed, just so it's not tying with Calyrex. And then in Trick Room, Calyrex can go first and get KOs with Glacial Lance before Ursaluna snipes them from it, and then activate its Chilling Neigh that way. So very, very simple EV spreads, but I'll just fill them in and then it'll be ladder time. Alright, nothing out of the ordinary here except Mesprit. Of course, the main thing Mesprit brings to the table again is that I have a Psychic type to click that Expanding Force that does not take up one of my restricted slots, which means I also have room for both Ice Rider Calyrex and Magearna on the same team. They're Pokemon that could do it better than Mesprit, sure, but it is still something Mesprit can do. Throw in Ursaluna, which is practically like a restricted Pokemon in how powerful it is, and this might not be the most well-rounded team, but it's definitely a very strong one, should be able to win some games. And one other thing that I didn't call out explicitly, the Iron Ball not only makes Mesprit touch the terrain, but also lowers its speed, which I believe will make it the second slowest Pokemon on this team, behind only Torkoal, so notably underspeeding both of the restricteds, if I've done my math correctly. But anyway, it's time to set Trick Room, and it's time to try to sweep. And I don't think people are going to be expecting Mesprit to click Expanding Force and actually get the terrain buff. Don't see that too often. Hopefully it won't take too long to get an opponent here. This ladder has, over the last few episodes, felt not especially active, but I can still get a decent number of games, usually. Oh, am I recording this during the Grand Challenge? On top of everything else that's going on, maybe that's what will finally kill this ladder for a little bit. Well, let's see. I am recording this during the Grand Challenge. I didn't even think about that. I actually have signed up for that thing, but I don't know if I'll actually play it. Just used an old team again. Not the Ghost one. I think I'm done with the Ghost one. I used the other old team that I have to register for the challenge. And time will tell whether I play a single game in this one. I do like to play Grand Challenges because, you know, I don't get many opportunities to compete in any kind of official competition. It doesn't really feel the same when I'm doing it from my bedroom, but it's still something. And I enjoy playing this game, but I would be more serious about them this season if they hadn't cut the championship points payouts, because I was chasing Ace Trainer rewards late last season and I fell just short. So it felt like a good goal for this season, but now that Grand Challenges pay out like no points, they're not really realistic for a goal like that. Anyway, I got an opponent. Shadow Rider, Calyrex, Smeargle, Ursaluna, Brute Bonnet, Zamazenta, Tornadus. If it's min speed Ursaluna, it'll tie with my Calyrex. That means it's undersped by my Mesprit, actually, so Mesprit could come in handy here. Let's go Calyrex, Indeedee, Mesprit. And then because I have the Zamazenta, which is a giant threat to my Calyrex, I'm not actually sure I want to bring Magearna to this one. Maybe I'll bring Ursaluna instead, so let's do that. They lead Zamazenta and Smeargle. This is one problem with not having Trick Room on Mesprit. Then I'm left throwing one of the other Trick Room setters out there, and they... Well, I mean, I could have maybe used Indeedee as the Trick Room setter, although there are ways that the opponent could shut that down, like with Spore on Smeargle. I think I prefer having the Trick Room follow me combination here, but... Yeah, if Mesprit knew Trick Room, then it would be able to set that up here and would not be afraid of the Zamazenta. Wide Guard is an interesting choice there. Do they think I'm just throwing a Glacial Lance into their Zamazenta? I mean, maybe some people would. We gave Zamazenta a little bit of helmet chip there. I want to get rid of the Smeargle if I can. In fact, I think I'm down to just double into it. I'm not even as afraid of the Wide Guard as I am of the likely Spore. They just Wide Guard this turn, so we'll be able to knock out the Smeargle. I am leaving Calyrex open to taking a hit from Zamazenta. They just Body Press Indeedee and knock it out, which I think is actually favorable for me because Indeedee has pretty much well done its job at this point. I'll go Mesprit here, so that I can surprise this Ursaluna. I think here I'll protect Calyrex and just click Mystical Power into Ursaluna. They can still Wide Guard, so that's why I'm not clicking Expanding Force. If Zamazenta has Wide Guard, that is. It might not, with the way Smeargle was spamming it. They protect Ursaluna to get their burn. I should really have seen that one coming. Well, it's probably a speed tie between Ursaluna and Calyrex. Zamazenta has not clicked Wide Guard a single time, and the way they were playing the Smeargle, I actually think they might not have it on Zamazenta. Maybe they successfully baited me, but I'll take that chance. I'll click Glacial Lance here, and I'll hedge a little bit. I'll still click Mystical Power into Ursaluna. A Wide Guard on the Zamazenta. Well, yeah. Honestly, I made kind of a silly play. You can understand the reasoning, but I shouldn't have done that. However, this can now be a +1 Mystical Power into the Ursaluna. Trick Room's about to end. Calyrex is the only way to set it back up. I'm going to protect Calyrex again. I think I am. And yeah, +1 Mystical Power into Ursaluna. They could have protected Ursaluna, but they didn't. And you can see Mesprit underspeeds it there. Now, of course, Mesprit's slower than Zamazenta. Trick Room is over. They don't want to let me have it back up. They also have the Calyrex slot pretty well pinned, because if I switch in Ursaluna on the Astral Barrage, I can Body Press it. The Sash was on Smeargle, it's not on their Calyrex, but I don't have anything good to hit this. So, once again, I think one of the strongest restricted duos in the game is just too much for me to overcome. There's some line I could find here. They didn't click Body Press last turn, they clicked Behemoth Bash, so maybe I can actually get away with this. Although I'm not sure what the next part of the plan is there. But if I Parapsychic and Mystical Power Zamazenta? Parapsychic doesn't help me take this Astral Barrage though, so I think Mesprit just gets knocked out. Yeah. Well, it's not like I had a better use of my Terra in this game. I think once they stalled out the Trick Room and got these two on the field, it was kind of just GG. I could Terra Ghost here, but they still have me pinned with the Astral Barrage. So, it doesn't much matter. Yeah, I think I can just do that. If I Terra Ghost Ursaluna, that knocks it out, and instead, this knocks Ursaluna out. So, I just didn't get the Trick Room offense going quickly enough, in large part because I allowed Zamazenta to sit there and wall my Ice Rider. There's probably something I could do about that, maybe even bring Torkoal to the game. But anyway, on to the next one. Something Mesprit can do about that? Do I want a different coverage move on Mesprit? It doesn't get Flamethrower. I don't think it gets Fire Blast. But like, I don't necessarily need Dazzling Gleam when I have Magearna on the team, right? Is there something Mesprit can do to threaten Zamazenta? Does it get like Aura Sphere? That would be kind of neat. Doesn't look like it does. Huh. What the... I know when Aura Sphere debuted in Gen 4, it was only distributed to like 7 Pokemon, and most of them were legendary, but with how widely it's distributed now, you'd think Mesprit could reasonably get it. Also, Mesprit is legendary. I don't know why I specified that. But yeah, you'd think Mesprit could reasonably get it at this point. Anyway, Miraidon, Farigiraf, Iron Hands, Ice Rider Calyrex, Urshifu, Tornadus. Okay. I mean, this looks like a better game for this lead than that last one did. I like Ursaluna to throw out the Miraidon. I like Magearna because it's a good Pokemon. I like Mesprit because it's the star of the show. Something has to give. I can't bring all 3 of them. Let's be honest, Mesprit is the clear wrong choice, but it's Mesprit's video. So I'll bring Ursaluna and Mesprit again. But Magearna could be great in some positions into this team. Oh well. Farigiraf, Calyrex. Every Pokemon on the field right now probably knows Trick Room, which is a really weird kind of mind game. I'm going to click Glacial Lance, and I'm going to click Trick Room with Indeedee, but they might reverse the Trick Room turn 1, or they might have Imprison on Farigiraf, although in this team I think they probably don't. They just set Reflect. It's Swords Dance Calyrex? What in the world? That's a new one to me. Well, there's nothing I can do about that except... Well, there's not much I can do about that. I don't think I can switch here. If Mesprit gets in, replacing something that's knocked out, like Indeedee, then I can underspeed Calyrex and tickle it with Dazzling Gleam. But for now, let's Helping Hand and Glacial Lance, I guess. I don't see anything to do but just attack. I was hoping that would knock out Farigiraf to remove any risk of it reversing the Trick Room. But that's not what happens. Okay. Wow. I'll go Mesprit and I'll get that Trick Room right back up if I can. They might reverse it again, same turn this time, but we'll see. And yeah, I'm really not sold on Dazzling Gleam on the Mesprit. I think after this game I'll check whether there's some better coverage move I can give to it. Because we've run into 2 of the best restricteds in the game. Zamazenta, Ice Rider, Calyrex. You know what, you can also throw in Shadow Rider, Calyrex, 3 of the best restricteds. And Mesprit just hasn't really... I mean, Zamazenta takes neutral damage from the Psychic attacks, so that's not as big a deal. But yeah, Mesprit has not been super convincing into some of these. I think they're going to let me have the Trick Room. Ooh, just barely. Calyrex narrowly manages to take that. It's electric terrain now instead of psychic terrain, so I don't get the expanding force boosts. I guess I just Glacial Lance, and I lose the game to this Calyrex because I never do enough damage to it. But we'll try a Mystical Power. Iron Hands comes in. Both my Pokemon get knocked out. Ursaluna needs to sweep. It's honestly not impossible if I crit the Calyrex for Ursaluna to sweep this. 3 Trick Room turns left, but I think I have to protect and get my Guts. That kills a turn of my own Trick Room, and then they can... they also have Fake Out Pressure on the board, so I mean, yeah. I could Terra Ghost to get around that, but yeah, we just protect. They reversed my Trick Room. Makes sense. Okay, actually, my out there was Terra Ghost, Earthquake, crit. Oh well. Rough start. Usually these hard Trick Room teams, you know, obviously they're not unbeatable. There's a reason they haven't completely taken over the format, but usually I can win a couple games with them before things start to get rough. Is there a better coverage move I could be running on Mesprit that would be more helpful into opposing Psychic types, especially? I could run Knockoff. Honestly, I don't hate... Mesprit gets Nasty Plot now? That doesn't feel right. Used to only be Azelf in that trio that got it. Honestly, I don't hate Knockoff as an option. But I think Shadow Ball is better because I'm running a special attacking set here. This means now it's shut down by Dark types. So maybe I've just made a lateral move here. But I don't know. I have Magirna on the team. Magirna, Tornadus, Kyogre, Araquanid, Raichu, and Sinistcha. Okay. This team kind of looks like it wants Trick Room as well, but it's not hard. I feel like I might have faced this team actually in an earlier episode. It's not a hard Trick Room team, obviously, and unless it's Iron Ball, Kyogre, my restrictors are slower than theirs. Magirna ties. Even if it is Iron Ball Kyogre, Mesprit is slower than that. So I think I'm okay to just do what I do here. I don't feel that strongly about bringing Ursaluna to this one. Maybe I still need to because it's my best threat into their Magirna. I have high horsepower. I have my own Magirna. Let's bring Magirna and Mesprit this time. Actually, how do I beat Araquanid? Honestly, I might have needed Ursaluna for that. Facade is my best move into it. Pretty clearly. Oh well. Terra Fire Calyrex, so I cannot resist a Water Spout coming out here. That's not great either. Maybe I should have led with the Terra Water Magirna instead. I'll protect and Trick Room and hope Indeedee takes this. Terra Water, uh-oh. I think Indeedee takes this. Oh, they went for Hurricane. I don't know if that crit mattered or not. They went for Hurricane into Calyrex, so no Bleak Wind damage on Indeedee, but yeah, I don't know if that crit mattered. At least I can Terra Water the Magirna now. I'll go for the double protect, because what else am I going to do with my Calyrex right now? Don't get it. The Hurricane into Water Spout again. Magirna took so much from that. There's no way the crit mattered on Indeedee, right? Well, I have my Trick Room up, but there's not much time to do something with it. Let's just Expanding Force and Dazzling Gleam. They bring in Araquanid. Of course, it can't click Wide Guard on the same turn it switches in. They're probably confused also by Mesprit actually getting the terrain buff there. Magirna gets to +3. Life Orb, though. The speed tie with the other Magirna, though. Okay, but they have no more Wide Guard. Expanding Force. Dazzling Gleam. We just send it. It might not even be a speed tie. They have a Tail Room team. They might not be running min speed Magirna. Dazzling Gleam back. 2 more turns of Trick Room. Expanding Force did not enough damage. Let's try a Shadow Ball. Protect. They get some recovery. And yeah, not enough damage. Okay, rough start. I think that's 3 losses so far. 3 games, 3 losses. I didn't think about optimizing Magirna's HP for Life Orb chip. There we go. Play until I win at least 1. Shall we? Groudon, Darkrai, Whimsicott, Gouging Fire, Male Indeedee, and Iron Crown. They're their own size spam, but their whole team is fast. I mean, they could have Trick Room on something, but they would most likely only want to reverse Trick Room, or they could have Imprison on Indeedee. That is very much a possibility. But What else am I gonna do? I don't know if I bring Magirna to this one. Iron Crown kind of walls it. If Groudon turns into a fire type, that's awkward. Groudon then kind of walls it. I think it's another Mesprit or Ursaluna game. Honestly, Magirna has not been... I mean, it's tricky, right? Because I think there are teams I could run into where I'd be very, very glad to have Magirna. But I've run into a few different matchups here, and that hasn't really been that way. Maybe Magirna's not that useful on this team. Feels counterintuitive. Does Iron Crown get Gravity? This feels like a Gravity setup, but I don't know whether it gets Gravity. I'm about to get got by Gravity, aren't I? Yeah. That answers that. Both of these are asleep. They can freely Dark Pulse me now. Also, maybe these Pokemon both wake up on the same turn. I don't know if they will. Calyrex wakes up right now. First opportunity. Indeedee, please wake up. That Trick Room, no. They can just Dark Void, yeah. They can just Dark Void me again now. I can at least Terra Fire to resist the Tachyon Cutter, but then I don't resist the Expanding Force, and is any of it even worth it? Honestly, I'm down to sack Mesprit and try to get Trick Room up. Calm Mind, Iron Crown. Okay, well something has to give. They could still have Expanding Force, though. I do get my Trick Room. A little bit awkward, actually, that Indeedee is on the field, or that Mesprit's on the field now, especially since I got rid of my way to damage the Darkrai. That was me bonking my head into the mic, if you heard that just now. Well, I can Shadow Ball the Crown. That's not the worst thing. I'll give myself a helping hand, too, and then my Pokemon will fall asleep after that. Just half. Okay, not amazing. And it's nap time again. Yeah, it would be nice to have a way to damage the Darkrai in this position. I mean, Shadow Ball would technically damage it, but you know what I mean. At this rate, they're going to stall out my Trick Room pretty easily, but what do I do to stop that? I'm not gonna lie, I said that Mesprit would be rough. I said that it's been on my radar for quite a while. Like a long time now, as one that I thought was gonna be difficult. But I thought if I just slapped it onto one of these hard Trick Room teams, it would not be this bad. Timely crit though into the Iron Crown, we take those. Gravity should be gone for the rest of the game now. Of course, they could still click Dark Void anyway if they want. It's 50-50 into each target. And yeah, that Shadow Ball definitely didn't KO without the crit, because they had some more Calm Minds than they did earlier. So, lucky on that one. Let's see if I can make something of it. Are they rage quitting because the crown went down? They're taking a long time on this. They're about to time out. Gouging Fire, okay. I could think about switching in this position. Okay, I thought about it. Expanding, you know what? Mystical Power. No. But might be about to take another nap for all I know. Let's just go for the stronger move. Expanding Force and Psychic into Gouging Fire. Maybe I should switch Indeedee out. Yeah, Ursaluna's not that threatened here. And if I get the burn, it can't fall asleep. Let's Expanding Force and switch to Ursaluna. At least I don't think Ursaluna's that threatened here. Also, I really think my opponent might have gone AFK after I crit their Iron Crown. I don't know why. I'm still scared. I still don't feel like I've won this. But maybe that was just one crit too many for their laddering session or something. Who knows? Flare Blitz into Mesprit. Problem with this is Trick Room ends here, and I have no way to set it back up right now. I don't have a Trick Room setter on the field right now. And, fun fact, I can't even click Earthquake here because I've taken away my own Mesprit's immunity. So I'll click Expanding Force into Gouging Fire if they let me get away with that. You know what? I'll click Earthquake anyway. I think Mesprit is acceptable collateral damage if I get the attack off into these two. I do not think my opponent is actually still entering moves. Okay, Mesprit's gone. Ursaluna didn't take too much from that Flare Blitz. Darkrai took the Earthquake back pretty well, but I'll go Indeedee here. Groudon can just Precipice Blades. But you know what else Groudon can? You know what else Groudon can do? It can miss Precipice Blades. Oh, I can Terra Grass. Maybe take a Dark Void. Surely take a Precipice Blades. I can Terra Grass Indeedee. Trick Room. I can't protect Ursaluna. It's taunted. Alright, Facade Darkrai. Oh, opponent's back. They didn't take their full time this turn. Precipice Blades. Misses Indeedee. Not a great use of my Terra, but Ursaluna's gone. They have not used their Terra, so Glacial Lance is no sure bet to take out the Groudon, but I can follow me and Glacial Lance. Oh, it's Terra Water. I was going to say if it turns into a Fire type, I can high horsepower it next turn. It's not so effective into a Water type, but I can make the same play again here to take out the Darkrai. They get a double protect. I feel like if I just knock out the Darkrai with that Glacial Lance. Okay, the Precipice Blades missed. The double protect might have saved the game for them, but the Precipice Blades missed might have evened it back out. So what I'm looking to do is take out the Darkrai, get to +1. It looks like oh, it's going to be single target Precipice Blades now. Or it's going to be Heat Crash. It's single target Precipice Blades. Okay, no. The double protect saved them. What I was looking to do, of course, was take out the Darkrai and then get a +1 high horsepower into Groudon. But, yeah, with my Indeedee having gone down on the previous turn, the Precipice Blade still does enough to take out Calyrex before I can get the high horsepower. Alright, we keep going. Oh, look at this team. There's some familiar faces on this one. Does Mesprit give me some kind of edge here that my opponent will find hard to deal with? I don't think so. I don't think there's any advantage to be gained from the fact that I have Mesprit. What might give me an edge here, actually, is Torkoal, because Torkoal underspeeds everything on their team. And has super effective stab into their restricted duo. Let's go Indeedee Let's go Indeedee Magearna this time. Magearna is a little bit more impressive into their restricteds than Calyrex is. Let's still bring Calyrex. Let's bring Torkoal. No Mesprit in this one. Am I really going to count this as the one win if I even win this game? I feel like I should win a game with Mesprit before this video is over, don't you think? So I should have brought Mesprit to this one, but try to fix that next time. We redirect the final Gambit here. Both Magearna get boosted. I believe the Soul Heart activation orders there show that we're speed tying. Mine activating first would have shown that anyway because I'm running mid-speed Magearna. Ice hit Trick Room, they reverse Trick Room. Don't know if they intended to do that or if they intended to set it. My Magearna is now vulnerable to Urshifu, but I can make it somewhat less vulnerable like this and go Dazzling Gleam and go high horsepower into their Magearna. Yep, saw that coming. Magearna Speed Tie is going to be interesting now. They win it. They take out my Calyrex with a Flash Cannon. That will power up my Dazzling Gleam. But these are not ideal targets for that move. It does take out Urshifu, but not Magearna. Both Magearna at +4 now, mine at lower HP. What items are people running on Magearna now? We saw Leftovers earlier. But like clearly this one doesn't have a Life Orb. You know what, though? If I win the Speed Tie this time, then I can just Flash Cannon and Weather Ball, and I'm actually fine. I don't win the Speed Tie, though, so I'm not actually fine. Okay, well, a little bit hard to win this kind of matchup when you lose the Speed Tie on both of those turns back-to-back. 0-5, I think, on the video, just as well when I didn't bring Mesprit to that game. This is the decision now. We keep going until I win a game with Mesprit. I guess it's not shocking that this one turned out this way, but I was feeling good after a couple of not great legendary or mythical Pokemon. Got me some decent wins in earlier videos. Maybe I'm in my head too much, because like I said, I was looking at Mesprit on that wheel for a long time thinking that was one that would probably go like this, but I still hoped it wouldn't. Whimsicott, DD, Wellspring Mask, Ogerpon, Miraidon, Shadow Rider, Calyrex, and Urshifu. Very fast team. The DD might reverse or seal my Trick Room, but hopefully it won't. I don't think we have much for this guy. We bring this, and we bring this, and we bring this. Let's go. Okay, Indeedee or Shifu? Single Strike or Shifu. Not really what I love to see here. Also, the Indeedee makes me think they are going to mess with my Trick Room. But what other game plan do I have here? I'll just make them prove it. Wicked Blow takes out Indeedee. If it's Sash or Shifu, at least I've broken the Sash. It might not be. Yeah, they mess with my Trick Room. Okay, well... Let's Terra Water Indeedee also. Well, I can Terra Fire here, so I'm not weak to the Wicked Blow. Glacial Lance. Do I like Glacial Lance here? A lot of them, when they do that, reverse the Trick Room turn 1, a lot of them don't do it again turn 2. Because I think they think that I think it's hopeless to set the Trick Room up. So I'm actually going to Terra Fire and Trick Room. And Dazzling Gleam. They can't Terrestrialize the Urshifu. They Wicked Blow Calyrex anyway, still does a lot of damage. They Imprison, okay, so they do have a way to stop the Trick Room. I don't know why they didn't just do that turn 1, but also, oh, I can't use Dazzling Gleam either. Oh no, well, goodbye Calyrex. Sorry I couldn't save you, my friend. They sealed my Dazzling Gleam. This Urshifu is just going to sweep me. Does my favorite kind of hard Trick Room composition just not work anymore? Or... alternatively... does it just really need a strong special Psychic type restricted? I don't know. Finally got rid of the Indeedee. Now here's the Shadow Rider Calyrex. I can use Dazzling Gleam now. I bet it's Sash Calyrex, though, and I won't even get to find out. Okay, on to the next one. Win a game with Mesprit. That's the goal. It's gonna happen, or else the video never ends. Kyogre, Ice Rider Calyrex, Amoonguss, Indeedee, Iron Hands, and Incineroar. Hard Trick Room's not great into this, but it's what I have. Let's not fall for the Kyogre thing again. Let's go with Magearna so I can Terra Water in front of it. Also be more threatening into Calyrex this time. Still with Indeedee. Still with Calyrex. I could bring Ursaluna to this one, actually. Let's bring Ursaluna instead of Calyrex. Obviously I have to bring Mesprit. Because Ursaluna... Ursaluna, if it's burned, is immune to the Spore. It threatens Incineroar. It has strong neutral damage into their Ice Rider, which my Ice Rider doesn't really. Also, Kyogre doesn't resist stabs, so that's kind of nice. Terra Water Trick Room looks really strong here. I think Indeedee's just doomed, but looks like Psychic into Kyogre. Are they gonna reverse my Trick Room? No, it is just Glacial Lance. Okay. Magearna took a lot of damage, but does get a Soul Heart boost, and I do get the Trick Room up. Now I can go Mesprit. Dazzling Gleam, Expanding Force. Oh, wait, their Calyrex is gonna underspeed Magearna, isn't it? Ooh, Shadow Balled the Calyrex, by the way. Seed Bomb. Alright. Ursaluna, I'm going to need you to go absolutely crazy here. Oh, Psychic Terrain is still up. I still need the Guts on Ursaluna, though. Or I need damage on Calyrex so I can knock it out easily. That's not enough damage from Mesprit to knock it out. Hopefully, it's not min speed Calyrex, but I think it probably is. Yeah, okay. On to the next one. What's my rating? I'm down approximately 150 points so far on this section. Ice Rider, Amoonguss, Incineroar, Landorus, Grimmsnarl, Zamazenta. I definitely think I bring Torkoal to this one. I have to bring Mesprit. So I have room for one restricted. And it's going to be Magearna. Magearna, Indeedee, Mesprit, Torkoal. Torkoal, of course, underspeeding Amoonguss, threatening that, and both of their restricteds. But only valuable if I get Trick Room up, so I better hurry up and do that. Everybody has Trick Room answers, though. Like, this Calyrex is probably going to click Trick Room turn 1, or maybe it has, like, Imprison or something. Well, let's see. Does it get Imprison? I think it does. I know Zamazenta gets Imprison. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Oh, I meant to click Trick Room on Magearna. I just clicked the wrong move. And I'm not kidding. That is what happened. And conveniently enough, my opponent set the Trick Room for me. Okay. You know what? I'm going to call they try to reverse it here. Put Magearna to sleep. Should have just... Wait, I just reversed my own Trick Room now. I'm tilting, huh? I'm not in a good way. Well, if they're not going to Rage Powder... I just need Magearna to wake up. Get this Flash Cannon into Calyrex. Oh, we wake up right away. Big damage. Indeedee's not getting the Trick Room up, though. Zamazenta's here. Magearna's the only Trick Room setter I have, and it's not ever going to get Trick Room up safely. And that's unfortunate, but what can you do? I'll go Torkoal. I'm looking to Weather Ball Calyrex. And you know what? Maybe this pressures them into some kind of conservative play where they actually let me get Trick Room up. Wide Guard. Glacial Lance. Magearna doesn't take it. Okay. Trick Room is done for the whole game. I have Torkoal and Iron Ball Mesprit. Well, I can click... Which Pokemon do I want to Terrasilize for a stronger stab? Let's try to let Mesprit be the hero. I can click... Nah, because Mesprit gets boosted by the Mystical Power. Let's Terrafire Torkoal. Weather Ball Zamazenta. Mystical Power into Amoonguss. Iron Defense Zamazenta. Uh-oh. Oh, and if I Terra Psychic, maybe I knock out the Amoonguss there and I get the Weather Ball into Zamazenta anyway. Ah, oh well. Protect around this Fake Out pressure. Do you think I made the wrong Terra choice? Not that I think it was likely to save the game, but you know, like what if? I have no good damage into Incineroar, so actually... Yeah, I don't think it matters all that much. Wait, they DC'd. Wait, if they don't come back, I win. I came back. Can't get a break. Okay, they knock off the Iron Ball. Mesprit's not going to be as slow now. It's still going to be really slow because I'm running mid-speed. Never mind. Well, you know what they say. When you're on tilt, keep playing. Surely you'll win one eventually. Not competitive advice. Ice Rider, Groudon, Volcarona, Cornerstone Mask, Ogre Pawn, Smeargle, and Jumpluff. Jumpluff, okay. There's so many things that threaten Ice Rider, Calyrex. Volcarona threatens both of my restricteds. Volcarona is just a menace into my whole team. With that in mind, I'm not gonna... I probably still have to bring Magearna. No, you know what? I can bring Torkoal. Like, I want Ursaluna to threaten Volcarona, but I want Magearna to threaten Ice Rider Calyrex. What does both of those things at least kind of competently? I think it's Torkoal. So we'll do this, 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 this. Honestly, Mesprit is genuinely sabotaging the team way more than you might think, because there's so many matchups where I actually have a strong combination of 4 Pokemon, but it doesn't include Mesprit. And since I decided the goal at this point in the video is to win a game in which I bring Mesprit, it really hurts the team that I'm forcing myself to bring it. Oh well. What's Smeargle do? Decorate into Groudon, but they did nothing at all to deny my Trick Room, so that's about to go up. They also just let me Glacial Lance both of these guys. Does Smeargle have Wide Guard? It might. I don't need to worry about it. It's at 1 HP. High Horsepower into Groudon, Psychic into Smeargle. Really just let me set up the Trick Room turn 1. Are they just not afraid of it for some reason? That's 2 KOs. What's their next Pokemon? What are their other 2 Pokemon? Ice Rider Calyrex and Volcarona. I can Terra Fire. Makes me weak to High Horsepower. It also means I can't be burned. Let me think. Torkoal can beat the Ice Rider if it gets in soon enough. I think the Volcarona is the better target. I don't think I need to Terrasilize either of my 2 in the back. So I will Terra Fire, even though it doesn't do a ton here. I think it's still okay. And Helping Hand, High Horsepower into Volk. That does a lot of damage. Glacial Lance knocks out Indeedee. What does Volcarona do? Flamethrower into Calyrex. No KO thanks to the Fire Terra. I can go... Ooh, I can go Torkoal and Quick Eruption. And you know what? I'll switch Mesprit in so that it can be here too. They still have their Terra, right? So this is actually not sewn up yet, I think. I mean, Ice Rider Calyrex runs so many Terra types. Who knows whether it has a useful one for them here. Well, they're thinking. Or they're AFK, but I choose to believe they're thinking. Mesprit comes in. Big Eruption. Calyrex survives. Throws back a Glacial Lance, but it doesn't get a KO. They can just safely protect through this turn, but I don't think they can win after that. And they don't protect anyway. Glacial Lance doesn't do enough to Torkoal, so after this turn they could knock out Mesprit with it, although they don't know that it's Iron Ball Mesprit. In any case, Mesprit didn't click a single move, but it did appear on the field in a game that this team won. Mission accomplished, I think. I talk in this series about maybe I learned some things along the way. I think what I've learned here is if you're going to use Mesprit, good luck to you. In a format like this, you're probably going to need it. Mesprit certainly is one of the legendary Pokemon of all time, I'll say that. 4 Pokemon left on the wheel. Come back to see who's next.